they will drop you. So
if they what, Jared? What'd you say?
If you don't have, if they feel like you don't have enough bandwidth for audio, then they just kick you off. You disconnect you.
I'm on Google Fiber, so I'm pretty sure I have plenty of bandwidth.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I don't know how they calculate it, but.
My apologies, everybody. We're back recording.
No problem. Thank you.
See how many people we got back on here. Looks like we got everybody back.
All right, let's get going back here. So, is it Talent? I think you have a question for Mohit.
Yes, my name is Taulant, and I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go for it.
Regarding the metadata and tooling APIs.
Mm-hmm.
So those are not by default accessible in Apex.
Right.
And for those, we have to use some class, and Andy is the one that usually plays with those and creates those class. And as for information, the metadata class is already big and takes a large portion of the available code that we have. So I just wanted to know if is any plan to make those open API for Apex?
Yeah. So again, Safe Harbor here. But I've been following Salesforce product managers on this, and it seems like they're working on exposing some of the metadata API capabilities via the Apex. So I won't be surprised if we see that in next or coming releases. But again, a big Safe Harbor, and there's definitely, I think there is a plan on that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, if nobody else has a question, I will ask another one.
Go for
it. With the Lightning and everything, what will be the future of the Visualforce pages?
That's a great question, actually. So the Visualforce pages, I mean, there are customers who have invested already a lot in the Visualforce pages. So anytime Visualforce page is not going to go away for sure, but the future looks like, it's all going to be a component framework, and everybody is, will be switching to the Lightning. At least the customers that I work for have all started thinking around, lines of Lightning components and componentizing their entire UI structure. But again, Visualforce is not something that's going to get depreciated anytime soon. So Visualforce, still there are customers who are on Visualforce, and there is no way by which Salesforce can.
My question was more, what is the plan for Salesforce? Are they just going to support as is, or they are going to make any new feature on the Visualforce page?
Yeah, so I think definitely they're going to support on that, and they're going to also add some features. For example, if you have been following Spring 17 release notes, they added a tag called Apex SLDS. Now that's a new Visualforce tag that Salesforce brought together, and the reason for that was to make it very simple to style in Lightning design systems. So I think there is a roadmap by which they're going to improve some of the functionalities, but again, that's going to be in context with Lightning. So there are Lightning containers now offered, which gonna make very easier for us to integrate with Salesforce. And similarly, Lightning Out technology actually makes us to use Visualforce inside Lightning. So in a nutshell, what Salesforce is trying to do is, it's definitely going to support Visualforce, but at the same time, it is working to make it better for the Lightning UI. And nothing on the roadmap that I saw for the classic UI.
Okay, one comment and some other question. that was good feature that they are putting a tag to reach for the Lightning tags, because on some companies like ours, we have multiple versions of that as a static resource.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great feature.
Yeah. The other question that I have with Lightning, I have seen while we are trying to build, Lightning does not have by default the sharing. So, like Visual Force page, when you query, it is taking into the when it does query, retrieves only the records that the user has access, but that doesn't happen on Lightning.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have seen something called as Lightning Data Service. It's currently in developer preview, which means you have access to that in your developer org. But it's not GA at it's in developer preview. So Lightning Data Services will actually take care of implementing security and giving you all those defaults. So they are working on. I think they are working on all these stuff. But currently, there is no supported way. Only way is to put all those logic inside your controllers or inside the Apex.
Yeah, that is what we have been doing, putting those logic into the controller. But I just wanted to know what is the
the data services. The data services, once it becomes GA, in the coming releases, safe harbor. But once it becomes GA, I think that will handle by itself.
Okay.
Have you looked into data services yet? Like, what is your feedback around data services?
Are you asking me or you are asking somebody else?
Yeah, I'm asking you, like, have you looked into data services at all?
Just lightly. Haven't gone to the details of all of that. As a concept, it seems that would resolve what we are facing right now, but I haven't dig deeper.
Cool.
The other question is more if you can tell us some details how the Lightning will work, will incorporate the other JavaScript implementation that we will do, like AngularJS as a frame.
Yeah, so this has been common ask, right? Like, there are customers who have built the UI in terms of Angular using some of the frameworks like Angular or React. So if you look at Spring 17 nodes, they have launched a component called as Lightning Container. The Lightning Container is sort of going to bridge a gap between between other frameworks and the Lightning component. So if you look at that, they have examples on how you can write Angular apps and still bring that as an iframe inside your Lightning UI. So you can write your whole app in React, or in fact there are examples on the Git repo. I can point you to that now. So those examples actually show you how you can integrate some of these libraries inside Lightning UI. But the caveat is, again, this exactly sits inside an iframe currently. And because of the security policies, right, some of these frameworks might have some malicious JavaScript code and not tested code. So they're really careful about, just putting that directly inside the Lightning UI. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that was you already mentioned the security, and that was going to be my next question. How the security is handled when you put an iframe built on some other Java frameworks?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the thing is, when you put everything, when you render everything from the static resource, right? The static resource in Salesforce has everything, all your JavaScript gets rendered from the static resource, which is considered very secure, and everything gets encoded there. So that makes sure that you are not loading it from some external server or the CDN, and that is where the Lightning Container make you I mean, the framework is laid out the way that, you will have to load all your JavaScript from the, the static resource itself. Like, you cannot load anything from the CDN. That's one way of doing, handling the security. But otherwise, you have, on Lightning side, we have locker services. So that sort of restricts you and prevents you from, sort of other security threats or attacks.
Okay, nice. If you can share those examples and the GitHub repo, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
All right. What other questions do we have?
How do we submit questions? Is it just via the audio, or do you raise our hand?
You can speak up, or you can raise your hand and wait. But now that we're open, go ahead if you have a question.
Could you go over some of the new Sales Cloud components and changes in Spring 17 that are notable?
Sorry, can you come again? What was the question here?
So you were discussing Spring 17, the new release, and you're talking about Lightning. But is there any general updates or enhancements that we should be made aware of that's dealing with Sales Cloud functionality?
I think there are a bunch of enhancements. Again, I've not actually digged into the Sales Cloud aspect of it, but there are release training videos that are available on YouTube, and some of the links I can share, and they definitely speak about a lot of things that got updated. One of the things I think got updated was like quotes and more of the functionalities which were missing in class, in the previous versions, like ability to create multiple apps, the utility bars on the cloud, the console apps. So there are a bunch of features. I mean, I don't know about the specific things, but you can obviously get that from the release notes or the YouTube video. Like, there are quick 2-3 minute videos which are very nice, sort of marketing videos that will give you an idea of the features that are coming for Sales Cloud.
Just some notable one. There's definitely some. I'll post a link in there, but you can go search in the release notes, and there's definitely some notable ones in there, like the note taking. The rich text editor for notes is now using Quill, the Quill editor. So that will be, and that applies across Lightning Experience Classic as well as Salesforce One. So that'll be nice. And some other kind of miscellaneous updates that are in there. Definitely Sales Cloud for or Einstein for Sales Cloud is in there. We'll post that in the. And one that I'm sure that we're all very sad about is the Cloud Scheduler is being retired. All right, Nerdash, you have your hand raised. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Hey, hi. My question is regarding the Lightning component. So currently what it is, we build the Lightning Fuel components as we are off on the Visualforce page because in our org we don't have the domain enabled yet. But what we have observed is, if we are opening, the Lightning component, initially loading time is around, sometime 9 to 10 seconds and sometimes to even more. So is there any way, reduce that even for initial loading times? Because if we compare with Visualforce page, it is relatively more time. to even load the Lightning component?
Yeah. So the loading time and the performance of Lightning is being worked out as far as I know against Safe Harbor. And have you tested in Spring 17 orgs? So Spring 17 orgs all have performance improved. So it loads faster, the component pages, the app pages. So it's getting better and better. But again, at the same time, I would agree to your fact that there are performance issues both during the load time. You can see that using our developer console, the browser console, to improve the speeds, right? To improve the performance. Your custom Lightning components also do an impact. So there is a small section in the developer guide which talks about how you can actually improve some of the performances, like on the client side. So I can give you some of the patterns and show you some of the anti-patterns that developers follow that actually adds a performance overhead. But overall, I think with every release, it will keep getting better and better.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
I guess I missed the initial part. Could you just tell us a little bit more about? Could you just reintroduce the guest? I guess I missed that part when I first joined.
Yeah, so the guest is Mohit. He's a Salesforce MVP, and I'll just call him a big time developer. He's got a lot of experience there around development and Salesforce in general.
Hey, so yeah, my name is Mohit, and I primarily contribute through the Stack Exchange community. So if you have been on Stack Exchange and look for answers, you will see some of the answers from me. And I concentrate on making engineering better with whatever tool sets that Salesforce provides. So it's primarily I've been working around development, like Apex, Visual Force, building Lightning components, building communities, tooling around these, using continuous integrations and things like that to automate deployments, and working with the APIs of Salesforce, and also have exposure to other integration platforms, and primarily work on doing a little bit of architecture around data and integrations along the platform.
Is there any Chrome extensions or tools that you use to help navigate through Salesforce on the development side?
There are a bunch of them. One thing, so for the Lightning component in particular, there is something called a Lightning Inspector that I use. There is a YouTube video on that particular topic that I did. I can share that link. That is for the Lightning component development. But in general, I commonly use the browser tools that Salesforce provides, and for Apex, I use the developer console to debug things. But to navigate, as you're saying, there are a bunch of Chrome extensions. I can point you to some of them, which make life simpler. But I doubt that they work with the newer interface. I mean the Lightning interface, because the Lightning is new, and the navigation logic is little different than the classic UI. But I can point you to some of the tools that I use.
So we're a leading Salesforce ISV based out of San Francisco called Kugamon. And I'm just kind of curious, what is your experience with large enterprise customers implementing Lightning? Is it on their roadmap? Is it a necessary evil? Is it something that they're trying to delay? I'm just kind of curious to get the community's take on this.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So the thing about enterprises is it's a big change, right? It's not small. For medium-sized size industries, it is very simple. They might have just 2, 3 screens. But for enterprise, we are talking about like, thousands of customers who are already used to the classic UI. And, there is a lot of investment that's already been done building all these Visualforce pages and Apex. And now to re-engineer that into a Lightning is a lot of investment, both from, from the management side and the executive team. So most of the times, it's actually a discussion between, to find out what does the investment looks like, or, by looking into each of the orgs and looking into, what it takes for them to get onto the Lightning and how much of investment it is, and is it worth going that route. So what I'm seeing with most of the enterprises, they are very slow on this, and they are taking time to actually figure out all these things. But at the same time, if there is a new implementation, right? Let's say I have an enterprise in a company using Salesforce, and let's say they have 5 divisions. Let's say for 4 of the divisions, they are already on Classic UI, and they are still trying to, introduce Salesforce for the 5th division. So the 5th division, the way they are architecting, or the way they are expecting solution is we put them directly on the Lightning experience, because that is the first time the customers are getting exposed to Salesforce. So for all new implementation, I think Lightning will be the way to go, unless and until there are features that are not available in the Lightning. But for the older things that have already been implemented, I think it's huge investment, from the management, and really they need to see the value out of it to make that investment decision. It's all, the better way to approach that is to explain to the customer about, the limitations of the Lightning and the benefits that it can give to you, and then they can weigh and make the decision. But in short, not many enterprises are yet, moved to Lightning.
Yeah, we're hearing the same thing. But thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm just kind of curious. So with that as the kind of the viewpoint, what should an ISV do?
That's a great question. We are also ISV. I mean, I work for a company called QuidScience, and we build app exchange apps for ISVs. So most of the times we generally support both the apps, and in fact we look at the target market for that particular app. If we feel that this app has to support both the classic and the new Lightning version, then we design everything in Lightning components and use something like Lightning Out to leverage those components onto a Visualforce. But the overall design that we do, we consider Lightning experience as the first preference. But at the same time, as I said, we see the target market. So if the target market is completely around newer implementations, so then it is obviously better to build Lightning components so that can be used. But if there are a lot of legacy customers, who already have Salesforce orgs, and if the ISV app is to target to them, then it's ideal to build both the versions of the apps, and so that there is no gaps on marketing and the sellability of the product. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. What other questions do we have?
I'm just going to throw out an anecdote here that John, Nerdforce John, threw out in the chat here of just in general, yay Lightning. Your grandchildren will know and handle technology you have not even dreamed of. If you do not embrace technological advance, you will become an old fart Oh my God, you could not be any more accurate with that statement. Absolutely, John.
Awesome.
I'll go ahead with a question that I actually ran across this past week that I wasn't able to find the answer to, at least not yet. And I'm not sure if Mohit, if you've run into it or if anybody else has. It's around a Lightning community with the Napili template, and I was trying to display a case. It is a customer community plus community, and I was trying to display to a customer community plus user a cases report. And when after I published it, it said that it told the user they didn't have access to the report type, and I couldn't find anything documentation-wise around like what report types are and are not available within a community chart, and B, like how do you troubleshoot that and get around that from being able to show cases reports.
As far as I remember working on this, I think the customer community users did not have access to reports and dashboard. It's only customer community plus users, but I might be wrong. I mean, there might be additions to it. So maybe it's a licensing limitation more than a permission issue. I mean, it can be only two issues. One is the licensing issue, and that we can only confirm with Salesforce whether the customer community.
Yeah. So they can see. Like I had some reports on some custom objects, and they can see reports on those as report charts within the community, no problem. But as soon as I add a report type that includes cases, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so that might be something to do with the licensing is what I'm guessing. Maybe they don't allow, reports on cases for customer community, but that sounds unrealistic. But one thing the other thing what I think is maybe there is a field in the report that this particular profile does not have access to, or maybe the report is kept in a folder which, this profile does not have access to. But both of the things can be possible, and the other thing can be obviously a Salesforce bug, that is not so evident from the UI error message that we get, and maybe Salesforce logs will tell, and maybe we want to reach out to one of the support engineers or somebody from Salesforce and have a look at that and get the feedback from them and what is going on here. But have you tried that with customer community plus licenses?
It is a customer community plus license.
Oh, then the customer
community. I even checked all the field level security, profile security. I mean, they can see cases in a list view just fine. They can create a case.
Think it's a bug. I think there might be a bug inside the builder.
That's what I was beginning to wonder, because I just couldn't find anybody really that had an answer to it. I found some other people that had the same issue. But
looks like it's a bug inside the builder.
All right. Well, there we go. We'll have to look more into that. Any other questions?
I'm kind of curious. So again, we're an ISV out of that focuses on a particular space. I was kind of interested in getting your guys' take on our app. Do you guys do like is there opportunity to meet afterwards and go through a demo and stuff like that? I'm just kind of curious to see, talk to some experts and see what kind of opinions they have.
Well, I don't have an answer for that. Dale, do you know what is the guidelines given to us for all these things?
For what?
Basically, here they want to take some feedback from us and show us a demo of their app and get a feedback.
I mean, office hours is definitely not a demo space. It's an open Q&A for members of the community. But I mean,
oh no, it wouldn't be during office hours.
No, they won't be doing it in the office hours. It's like after the office hours they want to reach out to us.
Jared, you've been in this longer than I have.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just message the MVP office hours handle, and we'll figure it out offline. Any other questions? All right. Well, if there's no other questions, we will introduce our special guest for the next meeting. All right. So our next call is going to be February 3rd, and many of you probably know Deepa and the contribution that she made. Deepa, there for a period, was probably on almost every MVP office hours call for a year straight, it felt like. So super involved and does a lot around helping with the certification study groups. And Deepa in general is just a super helpful person. So definitely don't want to miss that one. Got a lot of experience within the Salesforce ecosystem. So February 3rd, we'll be sending out the recording for this one today, and then be looking for the sign up for February 3rd. And appreciate, Mohit, your time for joining us for a second time as a special guest. So definitely appreciate that. And thanks to everyone for the great questions and dealing with the audio issues there at the beginning. Appreciate you hanging on with us, and hope everybody has a great weekend.